Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobbi Pomminville. I'm your reporter on the arts. I love all aspects of the arts, and I have some wonderful interviews today. I've got two people with me. I'll be introducing Marybeth Lorbiecki in just a moment. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And I'm going to introduce after that Owen Olson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so happy I heard about both of you. Okay, now a little bit of background on Marybeth. Actually, she's been here once before. But anyway, she is the Wisconsin Children's Book Author of 2008. And that's just one of many awards she has. She has written over 25 books, including Paul Bunyan's Sweetheart, which we're talking about today, which is now transforming into the musical Lucette, A Lively Tale of Lumberjacks, Trees, and Paul Bunyan. And I think all of those are things that kind of relate to our area, and you look the part.
I did. You know, I had to fully dress for the season, so to speak.
Excellent. I love that top you've got on. All right, so now I have a couple questions for you. How did you choose that book titled Paul Bunyan's Sweetheart and then decide that was going to be a musical?
Well, I grew up with Paul Bunyan. I'm from Minnesota originally, and we'd go up north, see Paul Bunyan. He said my name, and not too far from there was Hackensack, Minnesota, that had that big statue of Lucette. So at one point, a publisher asked me to do, folktale or something, and I thought of Lucette. I thought I didn't want to do just Paul Bunyan again, and I just really felt that our culture needs to refresh Paul Bunyan from, cutting till nothing's left, and thinking more about the role of trees. And so Lucette, Diana Kensack, here she is. She's going to be the one he falls in love with. And she transforms him, giving him 3 love tests to see what he can do. And I'm not doing any spoilers about the 3 love tests. But the point is to transform him, her, and our thoughts about forests from here on in.
I didn't even know that. I'm so glad you told me because I love that kind of a story.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so you thought that would make a really good musical. So now here's a tough question because you are a professor of writing and literature at the university. So I had to put one hard one in. Could you give us a short synopsis of the story?
Well, that kind of is the short synopsis.
That was it.
And what I did is, I love musicals, and I often tell Owen, I would try out for musicals, and I love to sing, and I never made it. So this is the only way I can get in my own musical, write it. So I wrote the script, and then I was fortunate enough to have a friend say, I know this really, really great composer young man that you might want to talk to. And I'm like, well, the person really has to love theater. They have to have a good sense of humor. They have to be open to a lot of styles of music because this has folk music in it instead of, your classical Broadway orchestra. It's trying to integrate. And they're like, don't know anyone like that, And of course they did, and it was Owen. So I was fortunate enough, and he has been open-spirited enough. He just said immediately yes. And then when I told him what I was looking for in terms of, a variety of folk instruments and folk styles and everything to integrate, he has his own many good styles that he likes. So it's been a really exciting journey. And he's just the best guy to have on this.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to talk to him, but I have to say, I love everything you said about it, being from up north myself. And I love the things that you're bringing into it, like the woman has the top role, kind of.
Yeah, she
But
does.
you're weaving into Paul Bunyan, sweetheart. And then you've got lumberjacks, which a lot of us have studied about.
Lumberjack days
you
and
have
everything
to.
else.
I mean, when you live in this area.
Well, yeah,
you know.
we've got championship log rollers here still,
We
and
do.
we have lumberjack days, and we have the mills, and we have Anderson Windows or Anderson Corp and everything. I mean, it's who we are, and the thing is, I was helped on the Scenic St. Croix reinstatement at one point, and we love our Scenic St. Croix, and it's scenic because of the trees, because of the natural system, and that's why people live here, because we love the Northwoods.
That's right.
And so, I want to help save them.
So I'm of the same mind. I'm about the environment. I'm totally in favor of the trees and the river and all of that. And I'm, shocked at what's happened to it. But anyway, and then Paul Bunyan, I told you, when I was a little girl, I got to go on a vacation, and we went to see Paul Bunyan. And I've never forgot that. It made quite an impression.
Yeah, he's a great character. And so for the musical, we have, I looked into the history of lumberjacks and everything, and they were young immigrants. And so it's got the young immigrant, and young and old, some are older, lumberjacks, and they have a life of their own in the musical. They don't get as big a role in the book, but that's the beauty of having a musical. You get to develop more characters, have slight subplots, and and it's not meant to be one or the other. It's meant to how do we have Paul and have our forests and think about being mindful and everything. So and we have to do a land acknowledgement. This land was not ours as terms of immigrants. This was the land of the Anishinaabe and the Dakota and
Chippewa.
The Ojibwe, the Chippewa. So we just want to acknowledge their role in all of everything, and that this is their land, and to thank them, and to remember they're still here.
Yes, and this is close to home. My husband grew up in Stillwater. His father was a lumberjack.
Oh, well, there we go. There we go.
So I wish I would have talked to him more about it, but he didn't last very long after we married, so unfortunately. Okay, now I want to introduce this young man over here I just met myself. Owen Olson is here, and he is a senior at Hudson High School. And guess what? He's the composer. And I have so much to ask him. It's like, da-da. Okay, now your bio is you sing in choir, you're in swing choir, you're in jazz band, you're in marching band. That's a lot of music.
I'm not actually in marching band.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry. I
No, he's just in all these
totally fine.
productions.
I'm in the jazz band, but actually one of my biggest regrets in life is not joining like the wind band in middle school. So I can't play any like band instruments, and it makes me sad. But
so what in jazz band?
I play piano. Yeah.
Oh, well, you're hidden talent. I did not know that. And of course, being a piano player myself, I'm
he's
feeling
also
a lot
theater.
I don't know, camaraderie with you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say he's been in so many theater productions. Many of your viewers will have seen him in various productions if they've been to the Phipps productions, to Zephyr, and to Hudson High and everything.
Yes.
He's a star.
Well, that's what I thought, and I actually knew he was after I saw him in the swing choir this weekend at the high school.
The Hudson Expo.
The Hudson Expo. I thought, well, you said you were in it, so I thought, they're performing today, and I'm working on the garden club stuff. And so I go in, and it was a beautiful 35-minute, probably plus show, and swing choir is my favorite.
Yeah. Mine too.
My favorite. And so there he is, the star, and I'm like, how am I going to figure out who he is? And then Carrie Heisler gets up there and she says, I'm going to introduce the soloist, Owen Olson, da-da-da-da-da. And I went, he's up there, and I think he's the first one on the end. And I took a picture. I have it on my Facebook page. But, of course, I just felt like such identity with you because these are all music things that I love. And let's not forget this, forensics.
Yeah, and that kind of leads more into the theater thing because that's like competitive speech. So I also did like Destination Imagination when I was in middle and elementary school. So I've really been like theater and music has been my life for quite a while.
Oh, I compliment you so much. Okay, now let's just go back to that March spring concerts, spring pops, I should say, and your special involvement. What happened there?
Yeah, so with my involvement with this musical, which I've been so just incredibly happy to be a part of as such a young, relatively inexperienced composer, it's been really great. And we've been trying to get this thing workshopped, and we were able to get connected with the choir director, Miss Jamie Lorbiecki at Hudson. She's new this year. Awesome. Yes. Such an incredible go-getter. And she got us connected and helped us do education things within the choirs so that we could get this grant written for the St. Croix Valley Foundation to get us the funding so that I could produce 3 different songs from this musical and arrange them for the choirs to sing at the Spring Pops concert. The Pops concert is like a concert where all the choirs are singing pop music, I've
been there many times.
Yep, and musical theater really fits in well with that style. So we said this is kind of a perfect fit to kind of get. This is our first foray onto the stage, and so I wrote those pieces. 2 of them were large group pieces, and then one was a duet that was sang by Libby Huber and Ben Schreiber, which was just drop dead amazing. So, and those 3 pieces are going to be at the Hop and Barrel event, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, I think.
But we're definitely.
Thursday, May 18th.
Thursday, May 18th.
It's coming up so fast, but now, so you wrote 3 pieces of music.
Yes.
For different styles of voicing.
Yes. So
one was a duet.
Yes, one was a duet. It's a alto and bass duet. So both. What's really cool actually about this musical, I think, is kind of the traditional thing for a lot of musicals is to have, you've got the male lead is a high tenor and the female lead is a high soprano. But with this one, we totally flip that, because like these are giants. You think big people, big low voices. And like Paul Bunyan, you wouldn't make Paul Bunyan a tenor, and you wouldn't make Lucette a like high floaty soprano. They are strong-willed individuals with boomy low voices. So it's been really cool to write for like those voices in a like a leading role. So yeah, one of them was a duet with like an alto bass duet, and then Paul and Lucette are the characters that are singing that. Yeah. And then one of them, the next one was for a TTBB choir, which is a all tenor bass voices choir, so all traditionally like male voices.
So was that the freshman choir?
That was the freshman choir singing.
The freshman guys were the Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
the Lumberjacks prancing around on the
really
stage,
neat.
singing "We Go Trump Split Bill." But yeah,
and they love that voicing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I could
absolutely.
just see the guys getting into that.
Yeah, it's really fun. And then the other one was a SATB kind of regular old. Yeah. So it's soprano, alto, tenor, bass, men's voices, women's voices, all of it together singing the second song from the musical.
And those are the animals. So first you have the Lumberjacks, very, very proud
brash
of
and
what they're
big,
doing, what they're doing. And then you have the animals' response, got to get out of here. Got to get out of here, that it's going. Got to get out of here, we'll be hit by a falling tree.
and musically, that brings different styles, and how you can, how I decided to like link those two together is like, because the Lumberjacks come out, it's very like folksy, major blues. You go dum chick dum chick dum chick dum chick dum chick dum. You can see it, and then for that gets you in a certain style. But that same style isn't going to be right for the second piece where they're frantic and trying to run around. So what I do is I take the chord progression, turn it minor, and then put it with a little bit of a different rhythm, And so that way it has the same general kind of stylistic feeling, but is still very distinct and gets across the same messages while still being in the same genre. And the instrumentation helps with that too, because when you've got in the actual show, we'll have accordions and banjos and the folk instrumentation that just again drives home the Midwestern folk thing. So yeah, that's kind of some of the process.
Well, and not only that, we have integrated into that first song different stanzas from different immigrants who have different folk styles, even within the lumberjack song.
Yeah.
And we, like how Peter and the Wolf has, you have the different instruments all have a character to go with.
Yes.
Well, Paul has the more
like the trombone sound,
and she has more the flute and the drumming, and the different lumberjacks have a sound. So we're trying to link certain instruments with certain characters that as it flows through, that you'll notice once it's all done.
Hopefully.
Okay, now what about the ox? Is it in there?
Oh, Babe the Blue Ox will be in there. Nell will be in there. They don't have speaking roles. But
I mean, do they have a song or anything, or are they different animals of the forest?
Yeah, the forest animals are who Lucette kind of grows up with. She's raised by the animals after her village dies from smallpox, and that's
the backstory.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
How does she
get
to be with the animals? Wasn't because she wanted to originally, but they took her in, and then that's part of it is she then has to leave them when the force is down. She has to leave them and go to the people.
Right.
And
that's very well thought out. I like the way you're doing that.
Thanks.
And everything you told me makes me excited to see it. I can't wait. But I mean, now this is kind of a silly question, but how did you know what to do with all this composing? How did you approach all that?
Yeah, so really,
do you have a video or something?
I do have a video that I recorded, basically kind of going through the all the different like software, hardware things that I use when I'm composing something. But basically, the general idea, and that video goes into more the nitty gritty of the actual programs that I'm using. But as far as what my brain is thinking, I see the wonderful words that she's written.
Oh yeah.
I have the general style of the piece that I want, instrumentation and all that kind of thing.
Because we talk that through first.
Yeah.
What kind of feel, what kind of instrumentation, what kind of folk style or whatever. So that's where we collaborate, and he'll say, yeah, that'll work, or no, it won't work, or whatever. And then he starts
so then from the words that she wrote, I take those, I hear usually it starts with a melody in my head of whatever the words are, however that works, starting with like a chorus sound or something. And then I take that, sing it through in my head a few times, try to find it on the piano, and then pair that with chords, and that just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows from there.
You're kind of composing by ear then.
Yes.
Well, you are.
Yes.
Then you take it to the piano.
Because it's. I think that it's better to start with a memorable phrase, melody, whatever, and then use theory and stuff like that from there to expedite the process of taking that from an idea to a full musical arrangement. So there's some of it that's composing by ear, and then some of it's where it's like, oh, I want to get from here to here. What chord can I use to get from there to there? So it's really it's a combination of what I'm not going to hinder myself by the rules of music theory, but I'm also going to use those to expedite my composing process and make it not so that every single time I come to a crossroads of like, what goes here, I immediately have a bunch of things in my toolbox that might be expected or might be unexpected, and which one of those things is going to best serve the music, not necessarily the theory, if that makes sense.
And that's a little bit more contemporary than I expected from you.
well.
And it works.
Yeah, and I think that comes from my my jazz background.
Oh, that's right.
Because
Yes.
I play jazz piano, and I've done a lot of studying of jazz music, and coming from that perspective of let's have music that doesn't necessarily follow all the rules all the time, but still sounds like it's supporting the message that you want, not necessarily following 18th century voice leading rules.
Right, and he has, he's character driven. So we'll talk through and he'll say, hey, well, how about this line or something?
Yeah, and I add words to make like phrases be complete and that kind of thing. Because when you're writing a poem, you're not thinking about how that's going to be sung. You're just writing the words, and that's great. But then I take that and I might drop a word, I might add a word, I might make a contraction into two different words just to make it flow, and that's where my singing background and the choir things come in, because I'm comfortable looking at a thing and trying to figure out how I would sing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he'll know if it's too gobble, like if too many vowels or too many consonants, he'll like, that'll be hard to sing. Let's rearrange it. And then sometimes I'll go, we got to do something else here, because so we did some tweaking after we saw it on stage. It's like, I want Lucette to come in earlier and have more, and things like that. And so that's the exciting part, I think, is the creative process where it keeps kind of getting better and better and more things. And he also thinks about instrumentation, lines of this and everything. And Jamie Lorbiecki is so wonderful. And she said, how about you come in first and tell the history of the project to these students? So we went to each choir first.
Right. And
then after we did that, he showed his video on how to do it. And some of the students are like, can we have a composing class? This is so exciting. So and then, again, her idea, could the students help him to do some of the composing for the background transition music between scenes and between music? And they did, and I guess it's just wonderful ideas. And stuff.
So we gave them some scenes, like with dialogue, and said, what emotion do you feel in this scene? How are you going to put that out into music? Basically the same process that I go through when I'm writing this stuff. Yeah. And these freshman guys went into practice rooms and plunked stuff out on the piano and were able to write it down. And I have them in a folder, and I'll use those ideas in the actual underscoring of the different scenes. It's really, really, really cool.
Yeah,
that is so neat that you've included more students.
Yeah.
And that reaches out to more people.
All due to
more people are going to hear about it, and there's going to be support. And I know, I can tell from the way you two talk that you're really in sync on this thing. And thank goodness, because it's going to make such a wonderful project.
Well, and it's because people have been saying yes. Like when I tell them about this, they say yes, like the wonderful Hannah Coyle, who's connected us with you.
Yes.
And she's from the Rivertown Press. She's been saying, hey, I love musical theater. And then Dr. Kathy Welch from the University of Wisconsin, River Falls, she's this world, she's had a world experience in Japan and everything. She owns the Gem Theater, and she said, I like it. I'll be. So she signed on, because the next stage is the stage testing, and the university has been supportive. They're like, you can do it here. So this summer we're inviting young people, high schoolers, come on and join our stage testing. And the St. Croix Valley Foundation, again with their generosity, decided to give us a second grant to do the second stage. And we're going to have a month-long rehearsals and everything, and then we come for performances in August 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the scope of what we're doing the fundraiser on May 18th at the brewery is for those composing and staging funds.
Absolutely.
And we want to talk more about that, but does that mean they're going to be at the university theater department? And that's where you're going to do the staging, or where will you be?
It will be at their University Theater, and Dr. Welsh will be the director, and even the choir director there, Sarah. She was like, I may stop by and I'll help. You know, so
isn't that nice?
it's gathering a lot of people have really helped, and my brother's helping with us with patenting the rights so that we don't, lose it all once we have it written someday.
That's right, yes.
So he's helping us on that. So people have really, it's not my project or his project. It really does feel like a community project.
It certainly does. You've involved so many people already. And you've got people on board at the university. You had the paper. This will be on YouTube and whatever. Facebook. I have it on Facebook always on my site. But anyway, that's so exciting now. And so they're going to rehearse for what, a month, and then they're going to perform?
Yeah.
Yes, it goes July 5th to August 5th.
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be from 9 to noon. And we have a Sign Up Genius Lucette musical. We asked high schoolers in the whole valley to sign up. We're hoping some of those lumberjacks and animals from the Hudson High will sign up. But also we'd love to have people in Stillwater, New Richmond, River Falls. We would want it to be a valley-wide.
I think you're going to attract a lot of people.
I hope so.
Really
if you're watching this right now
Exactly,
and you want to
that's
do
what
it,
I was going to say.
sign up.
Sign
Do
up
it.
on
Come on.
Lucette.
Oh, wait, no.
We
we're not
need you.
Quite done yet. So did you say the performance was August 3rd at the university?
August 3rd
Okay.
and 4th, the evenings, and then
And
a
4th.
morning matinee on the 5th.
Okay, because we can put things on the screen. And we'll be looking for like a poster and stuff.
You'll be
When
looking
you
for
get a
it.
poster in that, you've got to send it to us,
All right.
and then we
Okay.
can put it
Thank
either
you.
with the interview or in between, So have we covered? Oh, no, we got to go back to the Hop and Barrel.
Yes.
I didn't quite think we talked quite enough about that because you're going to have a silent auction for matching funds.
We will have, this book is actually out of print, so we will have a copy or two of this in our silent auction. We will have some artwork and some.
Yeah, my mom's actually gonna contribute some of her. She's an artist, and she does a lot of like card stuff. But she'll be contributing some of her stuff for that too.
Yep,
So it's-
and my daughters are artists, and they each contributed something, and my husband contributed something, and so we have
so
some fun
nice.
things. And
Great.
some Hop and Barrel has we have to put a thing out for the Hop and Barrel has a great, they have many great beers, and root beer too, but they have Paul and Babe's Breakfast Ale that has just their new, and then there is a winery up in northern Minnesota, and we have the Paul Bunyan Red. And then the Lucette Brewery in Menominee, another great place, right next to this Red Cedar Trail. So if you're going bicycling, you can go to the brewery and get some pizza. And they've been very generous to, we're going to pick up what they're donating for us too. And they are connected to Lucette as well because it's named after the same character and the book and things.
Right.
So.
Now, what I'm worried about is it's next week. Do you have any posters for that?
I
Maybe
do.
We do.
I do, and
Yeah.
I forgot where they are.
Well,
I have them printed, literally.
if you could get one to me or, somehow do a JPEG or whatever, then we can put it on with this interview and advertise your event.
Please.
Lovely, yes, the Hop
Because,
and Barrel.
we could just say it, but it's
5
really
to 8 p.m. on Thursday, and it's $15, and you get a beverage ticket. You're looking puzzled. Did I say something
For
wrong?
some reason, I thought it was 5 to 9, but
We have to clean up.
okay.
That's
okay.
what it
So
is.
the official is
5 to 8.
We're there 4 to 9. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
And yes, and so you get music. We are you tell them what kind of musical entertainment we'll
Yeah,
have that
so
evening.
the 3 pieces that went on at the high school Pops concert, if you missed that and you feel like you wanna hear it, come down. There'll be I put together put together a little band, and we'll have some singers there, and we're going to be doing multiple performances throughout the night of that music, and yeah.
Yeah, and Oscar with the taco truck's going to come, and we might even have
nice.
Derek with the Belgian waffles might show up. So
All right,
I mean,
Derek with the Belgian waffles.
Boy.
It should be really fun. So people will kind of flow into the back room to have a performance, and then they can flow out into the deck and let others come in for the performances.
Okay, very good.
Nobody has to sit in the same spot all the time.
Very nice. Now we have to hurry a little. This is the last thing we're going to plug right now, and it's travel abroad.
Oh, yes. So for all of you out there who will be in college, it is going to Edinburgh if we get enough students signing up for the travel abroad experience. So
That'll be next summer, 2024.
So yes, so this summer we're stage testing the whole thing, which is part of the process to get eventually to off-Broadway and then to Broadway if that's what we get. But Edinburgh has an international theater festival, which is a very big deal. And Dr. Welsh always said, I always wanted to get the right play to do this. And the first thing she said is, I think this is the one. You want to take it. And then the university has been saying, yes, let's put together a travel abroad so we can have 10 days in Edinburgh, and we will have, a month before that working on me teaching intro to writing a script and what goes into a musical, and then we will go to Edinburgh for the performance.
And that'll be transferable credit too,
It's
right?
transferable credit even if you don't go to the university, and if we
Through UWRF.
through University of Wisconsin River Falls, and but there will also be, if we don't have enough students able to, we will also be able to open it up to community members who want to go.
Oh
So
boy, I've been there once.
So if
on a
anybody
tour.
wants to think about that, so keep that in watch for that next year.
Yes.
More information to come on that.
Wonderful. Well, your main thing is you have to get some materials to me, because people are watching our channel all the time.
We also have to say congratulations, because he's been accepted and has accepted to go to the Boston Conservatory of Music.
And that was something I was going to congratulate you for.
Thank you.
Because I am a music ed major.
Yeah.
With piano and voice. And so anyway, that was like, when I read that, I just went, this is such a prestigious school.
I feel very lucky to have been accepted.
Fortunate.
And they do new musical productions.
Oh,
they have
boy.
a very large musical theater program.
That's going to be
kind of what they're known for. Yeah.
Well, you've answered every question.
All right.
And my favorite part was when you were talking about composing the music and describing the story and all that. And I'm really on board, so
all right.
I'm hoping to
more.
see lots of this. And I have an item for this silent auction.
Ooh.
It's a painting of musical things.
Oh, a painting of musical things?
Yes. So I'm going to donate that.
Thank you
That
so
is
much.
so kind
And
of
I
you.
hope my friends get on board and some other
Yes.
people I know. But I just
And we have a GoFundMe site.
Oh my gosh.
that's
Yes,
right.
so anyone who can't come or you want to go beyond the $15, we are very happy to have
Yes.
it, and it will help move this whole project
Absolutely.
on. And
Super. What a fun talk today with both of you. I just have enjoyed it so much. And I'm
Thank you.
way behind you supporting
All
it.
right.
thank you, and you're so kind and generous.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. And I want to thank our audience for watching today, and I hope you're going to support this wonderful musical that's coming up. And I think music events like this you don't hear of them very often. And to think you're sitting right here with the writer of the book, the play, and the music composer. I just feel so blessed that I could do this today. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again in about a month.